This means nip and drop. Oh my gosh. We have 6 most disturbing forest encounters caught on camera from Chilling Scares. Oh my gosh. Okay, here we go. Let's check this out.
Neil is a YouTuber from the UK with a channel called English Woodsman, where he's been uploading videos of his wild camping, stealth camping, and woodland camping trips in the UK for almost 10 years. Most of the channel's videos feature Daniel reviewing camping gear for his viewers and showing footage of his adventures in the great outdoors. For the most part, they're pretty tame, but in August 2023, he uploaded a video of his camping trip in the woodlands close to his home, and the footage is pretty disturbing. The first part of the video pretty much just shows Daniel walking through the woods and talking to his subscribers, eating berries, and pointing out the sights on the way to the campsite.
Okay, so the beginning of the show starts exactly how you would imagine. Okay, so in the beginning, guys, he's just walking through the woods, man. Like, it's like, yeah, that's about what I would think.
At several points along the way, he pauses to mention the footprints and garbage he sees lying on the trail, indicating other people had been there in the last few days.
Okay.
Someone's been here. There's a lot of rubbish around here. Yeah, look at the state of this. It does get used, doesn't it?
Look at the trash.
After about a 20-minute walk, he sits down at a clearing where he plans to set up camp for the night and leans back on a tree to eat his noodles as he talks to the camera. It's not until around 25 minutes into the video that things start to get seriously disturbing for Daniel.
I'm going to be out Friday night, but I'm going away Saturday, so I've got a bit of a drive as well, so I didn't want to be tired, and it's going to throw it down Friday night as well. And rain camping is really good. Is that a badger?
It's not a badger. That's plain as day.
Hello?
Even though some pretty human-like footsteps could be heard right behind Daniel, as soon as he turns around to scan his environment, there's nobody in sight. What's most disturbing is that as soon as he turned around and yelled hello, the footsteps immediately stopped. For the next few minutes, he sits down and tries to regain his composure as he sips his coffee and eats his noodles, but things only continue to get even more creepy as the sun begins to set.
You need to get out of there, bro.
There's that noise again now. Hello? Hello? You got to be able to hear that.
Oh, we can hear it. We can hear it.
There's nobody here.
About 40 minutes into the video, the footstep noises can be heard again, and this time it sounds like they're getting closer to Daniel. By this point, most people would have hightailed it out of there without any hesitation, but Daniel decides to sit back down to finish his dinner as he tries to calm his nerves for the second time.
How hungry
Amazingly,
are you?
a few minutes later, it almost seems like he completely forgets about the footsteps and manages to think about less disturbing things, which is honestly pretty impressive. But as darkness sets in, the eerie footsteps start up again.
I'm going to be honest. I can't stay here now. I want to be a wimp. I don't care if people call me a wimp in the comments, but I can't stay here. I'm too unsettled. I'm nervous. I've done camping like this a load of times. I think I'm going to go find somewhere else to get this bivvy set up. But I'm leaving this spot.
Understandably, after this third incident, Daniel decides to head somewhere else for the night to play it safe. It's hard to know what exactly was making those sounds, but because they sounded very similar to human footsteps, it's possible that Daniel was being stalked by someone in the woods. This is obviously incredibly dangerous, as you can never really trust someone's intentions when you're in such a vulnerable position all by yourself in unknown territory. It was either that or an animal walking through the grass, but because Daniel mentioned the grass was a little wet and wouldn't have made that dry sound if an animal stepped on it, this is pretty unlikely. Also, many people in the comments mentioned that no animal walks that uniform and steady. They stop, go, and change pace constantly.
Hey, no, if the
Either way,
animal's on
it's a
two
good thing he
legs.
decided to leave, because who knows what could have happened to Daniel that night. One of the most annoying
Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Look, okay, like, the woods, hands down, the woods has to be like one of the most scariest places on the face of the planet. Like, woods and deep tunnels. Both of them. Both of them. Like, I don't know how he didn't get up and leave after the first couple footsteps, man. Okay, let's say it's a ghost, right? And a ghost, say some dude got murdered there and he's just constantly looking for his campsite and never gonna find it, right? Like, hearing phantom footsteps twice, like that loud, that plain as day, why would you stay? Why? Like, if you've seen any movies ever, that's how bad stuff happens. That's how bad stuff. Now, so say it's not even a ghost, right? Like, say, like, oh, it's ghost fooey, blah, 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 right? It's not even a ghost. So that's, the only other option is that's an actual person. And look, if you're camping in the middle of the woods and you get approached by a person, you better have something to arm yourself. You better have some bear mace. You better have some weapons. You better have something. Because it's like anyone that's hanging out in the woods in the middle of the night by themselves decide to approach you, they don't have good thoughts. They have bad thoughts. You don't need their thoughts invading in your thoughts of like, oh, there's a captain, oh, I'm just trying to enjoy the wilderness, right? You don't need their like, I'm gonna murder this. I'll murder anything I run into tonight. Yeah, da, da. Like, you don't need those type of thoughts invading your thoughts in the middle of the night, in the middle of the woods. You don't need it. Moving on.
things
the shit
to
out of
me
me.
is
Oh my
spam
gosh.
texts and phone calls.
Ah!
You would actually be surprised by the amount of times I get interrupted recording these videos by phone calls from random numbers.
No.
Well, I
No, I
did some
wouldn't.
research and uncovered
Me-
that a lot of
me
times
your
these
call.
spammers are able to get our personal info, email addresses, and phone numbers because big companies can't keep our data safe from data breaches and hacks. You may not have heard, but back in May, Ticketmaster was hacked and the data of over half
Oh,
a
I
billion
heard.
people were put
I
up for
heard.
sale on the dark web
I
for
got a
anyone
letter.
to buy. This stolen
Oh,
data
bad.
included full names, addresses,
Sorry,
email
we gave
addresses,
out all your
phone numbers,
information
and
to
credit
the
card
hackers.
data. At best, this was going to lead to more spam calls, texts,
What
and
are you gonna do
emails
for
for
me,
the
Ticketmaster?
customers, but at worst, fraud and identity theft.
We'll
So,
give you
what is
1
Ticketmaster
year
doing about
free
it?
of,
Absolutely
we'll look for
nothing. They said they didn't
stuff
think the
that's
hack
been
would have a
leaked online.
material
Oh, you mean
impact
like
on our
the
overall
stuff that
business.
was already
All these
leaked to
businesses
your
happily
company?
collect our data but do very little to
Yeah,
protect
yeah,
it,
we'll
and
do
even
one of
less
those
when it's
for you.
compromised. That's why I use Aura, the sponsor of this video.
Okay.
Aura alerts me when
This
my
is-
data is found in
this-
data
this
breaches
is
like
brought
the
to you by
Ticketmaster one
Aura.
or leaked on the dark web.
Aura.
It gives me fast fraud alerts if anyone tries to use that data to
you-
access my credit
if
card
you
or bank
use-
accounts.
if you
And it
get
removes my
fraud or
information from
whatever,
data broker
this is why
websites
I
so I
use
get less spam.
Aura.
I also get things like transaction monitoring, a VPN, antivirus, a password manager,
that'd be a
parental
sponsor,
controls,
right?
and
That'd be a
identity
first
theft
sponsor.
insurance. I get all this in one app at an affordable price.
Look,
If
you
my
get it
info
all
was
in one
compromised
app
in the
at an
Ticketmaster
affordable
data
price.
breach, I wouldn't have to worry because
You need
Aura is
more?
always on, always
You
doing
need
the
more
hard
than
work
that?
of keeping me safe.
Jesus
I'm not leaving myself and my family
Christ.
vulnerable to data breaches. And if you don't want
Look,
to either, you
your
can
ass
go
is
to
gonna get attacked
aura.com/chilling
someday.
scares
You
and
need
try
this
your first
shit.
2 weeks
You
for
gotta
free,
get it.
also linked below in the description.
You gotta get it. That's how I would sponsor. That's how I do it.
The Rampant Range is part of a front range of the Rocky Mountains in Colorado, made up of almost entirely public land within the Pike National Forest. In the summer, you'll find
looks
lots of
beautiful.
bikers
Oh my
enjoying the
gosh.
Rampant Range's elaborate trail system and exploring the great outdoors. For the most part, this part of Colorado is a paradise for anyone who enjoys spending time in nature. But over the past few years, there's been a pretty alarming trend on the rise, with random people setting up wires on trees at just about head height in an effort to seriously injure bikers on the trail.
Oh, I know.
In
I know.
2019,
That's
a
so
post
messed up.
describing this terrifying trend was uploaded to Facebook. And disturbingly, the uploader mentioned that one of his high school friends had lost his life as a result of running into a similar wire on a trail. Immediately, people jumped into the comments to point out how incredibly messed up it would be to do something like this, and how this kind of evil needs to be categorized as attempted murder if the suspects are ever caught. A couple of years before that post was made, in 2017, 2 motorbike riders uploaded a video to YouTube of their encounter with a similar wire.
Oh my gosh, okay, so this is, I just got told this the other day and I had no idea. Have you ever seen those motorcycles with the handlebars that go up to the heavens? Right? Like, it feels like the handlebars that you see where it looks like all the people have back problems that they have to reach way up high to hold onto their handlebars. Did you ever see those? I was told that the reason those handlebars exist is because of stuff like this. In case, like, the little tripwires and wires and shit, like, they have those handlebars in the way, so that way nothing happens to them. I was like, what? That's why they did it. I thought they just all had, like, back problems and wanted to stretch out while they ride for, like, 3 or 4 hours. Like, I had no idea. Moving on, here we go.
And although nothing happened to them, it was a very close call.
Oh my gosh, they found one. That's so fucked up, man. That's so fucked up. Oh my gosh, I got so lucky.
When these wires are set up off-trail, it can be hard to tell whether they were placed there out of malice or if a random camper or farmer placed the wires there to hang up clothes or something similar. But in cases like these where the wires are specifically placed on the trail, there's really only one reason people would do that, and that's to bring serious harm to bikers for some reason. Possibly they're annoyed with the constant loud sound of the bikes near their property or something else. But hopefully more measures can be taken in the future to prevent more people from getting hurt, especially because it's not uncommon to hear about motorbikers and snowmobilers losing their lives over this kind of stuff. This audio was uploaded to...
Yeah, oh my gosh, that's crazy. Oh, you know what it is? It's the old Batman quote from the Butler, like, some people just want to watch the world burn. So this is someone being malice.
YouTube by a user named ForestFire21. He recorded it around 2 a.m. in December 2014. The uploader lives in a forest, and he mentioned that the noises in the audio were coming from deep in the woods behind his house. It's hard to make out what the child is yelling, but after listening closely, several users jumped in the comments to point out that you can also hear an adult voice yelling, "Where are you?" In addition to the young female voice making most of the noise, this quieter, more subtle male voice that can also be heard in the audio only makes the whole incident that much more disturbing. Near the end of the video, the uploader mentions that after that night he checked the news every day to see if he could find some explanation for the screams, but he never did. The fact that the screaming was captured at around 2 a.m. in the freezing cold weather and in the middle of the woods indicates that the uploader could have genuinely recorded something pretty sinister taking place that night. It's hard to tell why the uploader would record and upload the audio instead of immediately calling the police after hearing a female voice in such obvious distress, but at this point there's not much that can be done about it. And who knows, maybe the uploader did call the police. There wasn't much context given in the video's description. We can only hope that whatever problem happened that night was eventually solved, but based on the shrillness of the screams and the strangeness of the whole situation, we probably won't ever be able to know for sure. Lisa is a life coach.
Oh my gosh, yes. Okay, so if this ever happens to any of you, here's what you do. I'm gonna give you some limited advice. If you ever hear, and I don't even know, was that a little girl screaming? It sounded like a little boy. I thought, Daddy. If you ever hear screaming like that at 2 in the morning, just don't go. Just don't go check it out. You know, you call the cops. As soon as they get there, you let them hear the audio, and you let them go find out what all that was about, man. Like, because they got bulletproof vests and guns and stuff, and like, say, hey, you know what? If you have a bulletproof vest and guns and bear mace, I say, if you want to go check it out, go ahead, record it, and then bring back what happens. Like, I'm just like, if I hear screaming and yelling in the middle of the woods, 2 a.m, I'm just gonna let it go. I'm not gonna check it out. Hell no, hell no, hell no. Like, but Lemon, what if someone's in danger? Well, I wish them the best of luck. I do wish them the best of luck. Like, quit putting yourself in danger, 2 a.m. Like, how about that? How about that? There you go. That's my advice. That's my advice.
Coach and YouTuber who often uploads videos of what it's like living in her van and traveling the country on her own. One afternoon in 2022,
Scary.
Lisa had parked her van on the side of the road and left the side door of her van open while she cooked her dinner inside, when suddenly a sketchy-looking guy approached her, poked his head in her van without her permission, and started asking her some pretty bizarre questions in French, a language Lisa doesn't speak. When she mentioned she didn't understand what he was saying, he pulled out a translator app to try to communicate with her, which obviously made her pretty uncomfortable, especially since she wasn't interested in talking to him in the first place after he invaded her personal space. After watching the guy struggle to use Google Translate for a few minutes, Lisa decided she'd had enough and shut the side door in his face, also closing the curtain to make sure the guy got the hint. Strangely, for over half an hour,
That's
the
good.
guy then stood outside in the rain and tinkered with the translator app to try to communicate with Lisa, even after she made it more than obvious that she wanted nothing to do with him.
Okay, he just moved even closer so that I can't move out and so that I can't go forward. Please leave. Please leave, you sketchy person. Please leave.
With a very shady demeanor, the man snuck into the bushes and pretty much just stalked Lisa from a distance, as if he thought she couldn't see him. As the sun began to set, Lisa kept an eye on the guy outside to make sure he didn't try to get close to her again, but the man just kept on bringing his car closer to her van and blocking her exit in different ways for more than half an hour.
This guy is really starting to freak me out. It's been like a half an hour and he just keeps on moving his vehicle so he can see in my van here. And anyways, it's 7 o'clock, 7 p.m.
Fortunately, just as darkness had begun to set in, a family in an RV pulled up right behind Lisa and spent the night in the same parking lot as her, which comforted her enough to stay there the entire evening. Disturbingly, the guy left soon after the other family arrived, but came back about 3 hours later in the dead of night to check if Lisa was still there. When he saw the other family in the RV was also still in the parking lot, he left and didn't come back. The next morning, Lisa left early and never saw the guy again. It's hard to tell what the guy's exact intentions were,
Malicious.
but based on his overall sketchy demeanor and questionable behavior, they couldn't have been anything good. The one thing we can be sure about is that it's a good thing the other family in the RV arrived at the parking lot when they did. Otherwise, who knows what the man would have done to Lisa. In May 2014,
Why stay? Why stay? Like, seriously, when you got like 3.5 thousand over there, like creeping around trying to shine his car in your car, like why even stay? Like, where's your survival skills, man? Oh my gosh. Like, the horrible part is like the first thing my mind thinks of. It's like, why was he there for so long? Why was he trying to get Google Translate to work? Like, what if he lost his little puppy in the area and he's just dying to ask someone, have you seen my dog? I'm trying to find my dog, my only friend left in the world, my dog. And he's like looking around, hanging around. And meanwhile, she's like I think he's gonna do something to me, and he's over there like, my dog, where's my dog? Something like that. Yeah, I'm French. I don't know French. It something sound like that. Like, but again, he wasn't saying a dog's name, so he was probably trying to do something to her. Get your bear mace, get your axe, get your stuff, and then carry it all with you, man. And I don't know if Creepoid 5000 is hanging around, making you feel uncomfortable. Maybe drive off, drive away. Maybe, perhaps, could be an idea. Moving on, here we go.
An Imager user uploaded a blog post where he talked about the time he went to visit a friend in northern Germany. According to the uploader, his friend told him about these pipes that he had found in the woods near his house that stuck up out of the ground like periscopes.
Underground bunkers!
Apparently, his friend and his siblings played near the pipes as kids and knew that there were bunkers hidden below them, but their parents never allowed them to get near them out of concern for their safety. During the visit narrated in the blog post, the uploader and his friend decided to check out the pipes and finally go down into the bunkers that they never had permission to explore when they were younger, and they found some pretty disturbing stuff.
I'm not gonna lie,
A few hundred feet away from the trees, they found the entrance to the bunker covered with a loosely placed piece of wood that they easily removed with a crowbar. Once inside, all they could see were these long, seemingly endless hospital-like hallways that extended for thousands of feet under the woods. As they ventured further and further into the maze of tunnels, they found graffiti on some of the walls, indicating they weren't the first people to get the idea to explore the underground bunkers. To the explorers' horror, one of the walls deep inside the tunnels had the word "help" in German graffitied all over it. It's possible that it was just sprayed on there by another group of teens trying to be funny, but the eerie nature of the bunker coupled with the general state of disarray really makes you wonder if something more sinister took place down there at some point, possibly even written by German soldiers in the later parts of World War II. As they traveled deeper into the bunker, they found some more disturbing graffiti, with one of the eeriest messages reading, "Hello Satan, I love you." Obviously, that's not the kind of message you want to see in a tunnel system like this, but the two friends decided to keep on exploring anyway. After several hours down in the bunker, they ended up finding tons of more twisting, winding hallways, flooded rooms with old machines, and dark, narrow corridors that reached dead ends, but nothing more disturbing than the graffiti they had found a few hours earlier. The explorers managed to make it out of there safely and didn't go back there again. In the summer of 2016...
Oh my gosh, I'd be so creeped out. I'd be so intrigued too. Like, I'd be like, oh, what's around this corner? Oh, I'm scared to death. Oh, what's around this corner? Oh my gosh, I'm gonna poop myself. What's around this corner? Oh my gosh, death. I'd probably find death. Like, if I went exploring some old little thing, I'd be dead. And they'd be telling my gravestone, oh, he never left his house. He was in the safest place ever. The one time he decided to go out and explore an abandoned bunker, he died. Oh, he should have stayed in. I should have stayed in. I ended up dead. That'd be a sucky place to die too. Like, man, I'll tell you what, to be trapped forever in a bunker where no one's at. Oh, boring. Like, that would suck. As a ghost, I wanna die in an amusement park. That's where I want to die. Like, see all the people ride all the rides, and be like, yeah, eternal death is fun. Like, I want to die in a abandoned, musty old bunker. Like.
Reports started surfacing that people were finding dangerous booby traps along a very well-known hiking trail in the High Mountain Park Preserve in Wayne, New Jersey. As per the police reports, the traps mostly consisted of boards with nails sticking out of them, barbed wire, broken bottles placed along the trails behind or near rocks or logs, and other treacherous materials. As more and more complaints started coming in, police warned people to keep an eye out for the traps and even organized cleanup efforts to keep hikers safe during their treks. What's most disturbing is that these traps were clearly placed there to hurt people, as there's really no other reason to put nails and barbed wire on the ground in the middle of such a popular hiking trail. The fact that someone would take the time to get out on the trail, build a booby trap in such detail, and place it there with the intention to do harm to other people and their pets is honestly pretty messed up, but it didn't take the cops too long to make an educated guess as to who was behind the whole thing. Although they never found the individual suspects responsible for placing the traps on the trail, the sheriff's department determined that the traps had probably something to do with the feud between hikers and bikers who had been fighting over use of the trail for decades. According to many nearby residents, it's
They
common
have-
for
they have a
bikers on the
feud?
trail to speed past the hikers without ringing their bells or announcing their
have a
presence,
feud?
which has led to several injuries and rising tensions between the two groups over the years. Still, it's hard to imagine that someone would take the issue to the point of trying to harm an entire group of people so maliciously with such brutal methods. Fortunately, no one was hurt as a result of the traps,
Well, that's
but the
good.
suspects responsible were never found.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Like the long-standing feud between the bikers and the hikers. You know, you have loose-fitted clothing versus tight nylon helmet wearing guys. It's just like, who builds traps to teach someone a lesson, man? Like, I can see like crockety old people, you know, that have put traps around their place because they're so sick of people. They don't want anyone in their space. They're trying to prevent people from getting in their space. I can see that. I can see that, but not in a hiking area. Like, that's again. Some people just want to watch the world burn. There you go, Internet. I hope you enjoyed some chilling encounters. Have a great day. Bye.